Which celebrity have you lost total respect for and why?
Prince Andrew. For minor reasons.
Alison Mack from Smallville. She was a leader in a cult that exploited women and made them sex slaves. Currently in prison.
Chris Brown. The whole "he hit Rihanna" thing was downplayed in the media. Read the actual police report and you'll see that he tormented and even attempted to kill her. And this man is still walking and making music and garnering fans. Really does make me sick.
Danny Masterson. Thought he was cool but later found out he is a higher-up in Scientology and got away with raping the wife of Cedric Bixler Zavala, singer of the Mars Volta, and poisoned 2 of his dogs.
Masterson has RPD, I'm pretty sure, 4 women. And he is not only a rapist, he is a violent rapist. Violent. All the RPS were covered up by Scientology, and the women silenced plus punished within the Scientology organization. Charges have since been brought against him, but he is such a horrible, horrible human being that I not only won't watch that 70s show in reruns, when it comes on my TV I cannot change the channel fast enough.
This whole thread is making me wonder why people idolize celebrities in the first place.
I'll mention a group, actor Scientologists. When the whole Scientology news exploded roughly 8 years ago, I lost all respect.
The irony of Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale.
Ian Watkins of Lost Prophets.
O.J. Simpson. He was so clearly phoning in his performance in The Naked Gun 33 1/3, and didn't do Nordberg justice. I was so put off that I completely stopped following his career after that.
The more I hear about this O.J. guy, the more I think he's a real jerk.
Elizabeth Moss. How do you play the main character in a show like The Handmaid's Tale, yet practice Scientology in your personal life? I don't get it.
She was born into it and refuses to discuss it in interviews. When your whole family is in a cult, and you have your career because of the cult, you're not going to be likely to publicly distance yourself. ETA. I think it's also important to remember that the experience of celebrities in Scientology is entirely different from the experience of normals in Scientology. Leah Remini goes into this a great deal in Aftermath.
At 13 I thought Onision was alright. God, was I wrong? I've lost all respect for him and more.
Onision probably thought you were alright at 13 as well.
Nick Cannon.
T.I. That dude was cool until he said he was getting his daughter checked for her virginity.
He and his wife been accused of kidnapping an RP as well by multiple women. Only color that matters is green, or whatever color the currency is in your country. Wealth is what really separates us.
Oprah. She did a special once on the Holocaust but made it all about her. It was very distasteful. We watched it back in high school, and even the teacher turned it off. To be fair, I had never watched her or her show before, but that experience soured her for me.
I think I was shown the same one on high school. Was it the one where Elie Wiesel was talking about his book Night and mentioned that his dad died on January 29 and Oprah responds with, "That's my birthday." As if that little tidbit was pertinent to a man talking about his father being killed in a concentration camp during the Holocaust. Chad Michael Murray. I waited in line for a Nintendo Wii the day they came out. It was outside of a Best Buy. Some people camped out. I got there before sunrise, but not crazy early. It was a fun environment. Once the staff got there, they told everyone how the sale would work, got everyone excited, and I think handed out some stuff. About 20 minutes before the store opened, Chad Michael Murray pulled up in a black SUV, right to the front of the line. Like, literally parked his car in the fire lane right at the front of the line, and got out. It was summer and he was wearing a leather jacket. He was clearly expecting people to be excited to see him. I was close enough to the front to hear him. He went up to the employee who was coordinating everything, and said he was here for his Nintendo. The guy was nice, and basically said what he would to anyone, "Great. You're in the right place. Get in line." CMM says that he was told there would be one saved for him. The guy didn't know what he was talking about. After a little back and forth and another employee getting involved, he walks away with his Nintendo. He clearly thought everyone would cheer for him as he walked away. But they ran out of Nintendos that day. Some kid went home empty-handed. I still get furious thinking about it. FCMM.
I think the list of ones I haven't lost respect for would be shorter.
Weird Al is one. Never a controversy or ill word spoken that I know of.
I'm still utterly furious at Mason Greenwood. Edit. Manchester United footballer whose girlfriend published evidence of him beating, abusing, and threatening her with RP last weekend.
Quite pleased to see how quickly everyone turned on him. Even in threads of die-hard United fans I didn't see anyone remotely defending him.
Yep, pretty unanimous. Hard not to when the evidence was that damning. The cynical side of me wonders how much she would have been believed without the photos and recording. Closest I really saw to a defense was someone saying that from a legal perspective the photos aren't definitive proof it was him, and that the recording could have been role play of some sort. Their point was less in support of him and more, this is how his legal team could approach it if he doesn't plead guilty, and it's not unheard of for it to work.
Drake Bell. I loved Drake and Josh growing up, so I thought he was a pretty cool guy. Then OFC everything came forth recently about him being a pedophile, and apparently he has also been grifting people with cryptocurrency even more recently. I have no respect left for the man at all. Edit. NFTs not crypto, my bad.
I remember in the news that Josh Peck didn't invite Drake to his wedding. Drake confronted him, upset, but Josh didn't specifically say anything except sorry. I am pretty sure Josh was aware of Drake's character and that's why he was cut off.
Bill Cosby. He wasn't like Cliff Huxtable at all.
This one still stings me as a dad now. I think of some of the greatest scenes in his show. Teaching budget to Theo. The scene where he feeds the kids cake for breakfast. The humor and joy and life lessons in his show are forever stained. Madonna. Ever since I found out she dumped her 3 chihuahuas at a dodgy kill shelter and one of them died after having its face mauled while the other 2 were basically starving by the time they were rescued. She was literally Madonna. She could have found them a good home. Or literally hired someone just to care for them.
She's completely effed up. She's so beyond out of touch with reality. We worked on her last tour and not only did she have every single shower head in the building removed but insisted on bathing in Evian bottled water. The list for preparing for her arrival was one ridiculous request after another. She would also have everyone show up for work at 3 p.m. and not show up until almost midnight to start rehearsals. So the whole staff preparing for this tour had essentially worked an entire workday when she decided to show up to rehearse. Then would for them to work another 6 to 8 hours. The money was good, but you basically didn't live your life, see your kids or sleep for a couple of months because she can't get her poo together and has zero consideration for anyone else. Workers and fans. Same thing with her shows. Showing up 2 to 3 hours late. All of that to cancel the whole tour after a few shows. Just chill with your kids and let yourself age. No one wants to watch a 20-year-old man drag your old ass across the stage because you can barely dance anymore. I didn't know about the dogs. It just makes me dislike her even more.
If you discount all the actual rapists, and RP apologists, and flat-out racists, I'd say Andy DK. I never respected Andy DK, but I grew to hate him over time. Hollywood in general is full of disgusting people, but he seems to take the cake for being an abysmally disgusting and horrendous person. Edit. I didn't know Andy DK was a groper, assaulter, my bad. Just makes him even more of a gross person.
Andy DK has to be the celebrity with the most stories of people actually running into him and him being a DK. Been over a dozen at least.
Lives up to his name and reputation apparently.
I would say Jeffree Star, but I never had respect for him in the first place.
God, him and James Charles go great together. Never respected James Charles either. Always knew he was a weirdo before it came to light he is a pedophile. Should be in jail.
Conor McGregor punching old CS.
He punched the old C. Bought the local bar and banned him from entering. Mason Greenwood. As a Manchester United fan, heartbroken. But hope his ex gets the justice and recovers.
Jared Leto. Huge piece of poo.
He seems absurdly self-obsessed.
Mariah Carey is a complete C to food service workers.
I know a restaurant owner who used to co-own a celebrity hangout in NYC and he said Jennifer Lopez was the worst guest he's ever served, celebrity or not. She was ridiculously rude and arrogant and by the end of the night, he and his entire staff hated her. Gwyneth Paltrow, Goop. The medical information, that's just wrong. The $100 vag candle. The recipes, it's just nonsense, and she's not a bad actress.
My favorite is the tweet of her drinking alkaline water every morning with a spritz of lemon in it, meaning she's taking the pH right back to neutral where all water is lol.
Joss Whedon. Dude was my idol as a storyteller for almost 2 decades. Firefly, Buffy, Angel, Dollhouse, Cabin in the Woods, etc. all were very near and dear to my heart. Then the cascade of stories about what a sadistic asshole he is, how he constantly mistreated his actors and writers, how he was such a serial cheater, and how he reacted to it all. I still respect his work. I do not respect the man.
Charisma Carpenter, Amber Benson, Gal Gadot, and Sarah Michelle Gellar all corroborating what a colossal DK head he is was bad enough. Michelle Trachtenberg confirming there was a rule on set at Buffy where he was never allowed to be in a room alone with her really turns my stomach. She was literally a effing child at the time.
IDK if he counts as a celebrity, but I effing despise Dr. Phil now. Not only did he send trouble kids to a child labor and endangering camp, made an excuse for it, but he also literally told a male abuse victim that he was abusive for fighting back and that he's a scumbag. Edit. Okay, these comments are getting overwhelming, but for those who asked, why did you even respect him in the first place? I first knew Phil from the Catch Me Outside girl and I thought he was doing something good for her. As well as helping family members with their destructive family lives, I didn't realize what he was really doing to these people till recently.
I've always hated Dr. Phil. Dude exploits people, families with serious issues to gain fame. I always liked the video where the guy who made a hobo fighting video was invited onto Phil's show. The dude walks in dressed up like Dr. Phil, bald cap and all, to show that him and Phil are one in the same.
Chris Brown. How does he even still have fans or followers?
I don't understand this at all. He's a violent psychopath. Travis Scott couldn't even fathom to say, I'm sorry.
For someone not already listed here, I'll go with Ellen. Used to respect her a lot for being a trailblazer before everything came to light in 2020.
This pandemic showed a lot of celebs to be self-centered and out of touch. I lost respect for everyone in that awful Imagine rendition. Imagine no possessions, they sing while sitting in their billion-dollar mansions. Meanwhile, the rest of us are losing our jobs.
We're all in the same boat together. No we're not, assholes. We're all in the same ocean, but you're in yachts while the rest of us are in rickety canoes hoping that we don't spring a leak. Marilyn Manson. He used to be my hero when I was a teen and up into adulthood. He is a talented artist and someone I used to respect and sort of look up to. His music, poems, and paintings inspired me many times throughout my life with my own art and self-expression. While I saw behavior from him before the allegations were made public that was questionable, I always excused it by saying he was an eccentric artist, and that deep down he's actually a good guy. In my early teens I read his biography Long Hard Road Out of Hell and took most of it to be work of fiction, but as a teenager I didn't realize how misogynistic and sadistic his writing was. As an adult I read the book again and it was kinda disturbing to me, the things I noticed that I didn't notice back then. It's hard to see your hero's true colors. I guess there's a reason people say, don't meet your heroes.
Emma Roberts. I love American Horror Story. But I have such a beef with her after she beat up her ex-boyfriend. I just hate all abuses, but nobody talks about it enough.
Chris Brown for obvious reasons. Also Travis Scott. Vin Diesel. My dad's close friend used to work for a filming company and they worked on Fast and Furious 9. He said that out of all of the people he have worked with, Vin Diesel is the worst. Very unfriendly and at one point something minor, can't remember the exact thing, happened that made Vin Diesel so mad he just went home. It took letters and emails from the corporate side to get him to finish filming. On the other hand, Vin Diesel's stunt double was one of the best people my dad's friend has worked with. He was very cooperative. Edit. The only reason my dad's friend doesn't work for the company anymore is due to COVID.
I was in dreamy angel love with Gwyneth Paltrow back in her heyday. But she morphed into a grifting dumb C. She's just an idiot and a scammer quack.
Lizzo, after she started sexually harassing Chris Evans. Talking about her sexually explicit fantasies about him during an interview was just uncomfortable. If he'd made the comments about her that she made about him, he'd be cancelled immediately. Then she ran into Chris Brown backstage somewhere and was filmed fangirling over him and called him her favorite person. Yeah, the same Chris Brown who nearly killed Rihanna, whose other ex has a restraining order against him, who has continuously proven since the Rihanna incident that he's a violent piece of poo and a danger to women. That's your favorite person? Not as bad as most of the answers on here, but I absolutely lost any respect I had for her after that point.
Dan Schneider. He created a ton of shows on Nickelodeon that I loved growing up, but he's a disgusting man that more than likely molested a lot of young female stars growing up.
Nicki Minaj. She seems like a bully to other celebs, Cardi B, who she thinks is trying to steal her crown, and also the alleged allegations about her baby's father and her defending his criminal activity.
Kevin Hart. Quit cheating on your wives, dude.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.